France's political uncertainty continues to intensify hours after appointing a cabinet. The country's newly appointed Prime Minister Sebastien Lecornu resigned. President Macron had named Lecornu just last month to the post, but the announcement of a largely unchanged cabinet lineup was met with fierce criticism across the political spectrum. Lecornu, a close ally of Macron, was France's fifth Prime Minister in 2 years. The cabinet's appointment had come after weeks of consultations with political parties across the political divide. It was about to hold its first meeting Monday afternoon, but it was met with a sudden turn of events, with Lecornu resigning. The outgoing leader said that conditions were no longer in place for him to carry out prime ministerial duties.
The composition of the government was not smooth and awakened some partisan appetites, sometimes, quite legitimately, linked to the upcoming presidential election.
Bruno Le Maire, who served as economy minister from 2017 to 2024, was named defense minister at a deeply sensitive time of tension with Russia of Ukraine. Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot also retained his post. Roland Lescure, a Macron loyalist, was named to lead the economy portfolio. But the new cabinet lineup had angered opponents and allies alike, who either found it too right-wing or not enough. Citizens are also reacting strongly to a prolonged political crisis.
I expected it because President Macron doesn't listen to anything, and it took him a month to appoint a government that is almost the same as the previous one. So we expected it. There's been no change.
Too much change. I mean, there's instability, it creates stress, it also generates anxiety among the public. So at some point, we're going to have to really sit down and think and reflect collectively to be able to make the right decisions, simply speaking.
France's political uncertainty comes amid lack of clear majority in parliament. The situation became increasingly unstable since President Emmanuel Macron's 2022 re-election, with the leader's decision to call snap parliamentary election deepening the crisis further. Let's talk to our correspondent, Ross Cullen, who's now joining us from Paris. Good to see you, Ross Cullen. The opposition in France must be having a field day because we understand that Le Pen has said that Macron's time is up and he should dissolve parliament and the government.
Yeah, just looking down at some of the latest news that's come in, we do understand that in fact the outgoing Prime Minister Sebastien Lecornu, who was at the Elysee Palace this morning to hand in his resignation to Emmanuel Macron, which the President accepted, is now back at the Elysee for an unprecedented second meeting. We don't know yet what is being discussed by the President and the Prime Minister, the outgoing Prime Minister, I should add, but that's interesting that he's been called back by Emmanuel Macron. There's all sorts of things going on. We've got the Socialist Party this afternoon calling on Emmanuel Macron to appoint a Prime Minister from the left. We've got Marine Le Pen saying that the Prime Minister should ideally come from the populist nationalist National Rally Party, but if not, Emmanuel Macron would be wise to resign, and it's unavoidable the need to hold urgent general elections. She's calling for those because, according to the polls, particularly well placed, that would be the National Rally, potentially to increase its number of MPs from 123 at the moment. You need 289 for a majority in Parliament. That's the problem. We have a hung Parliament in France. No one has a majority. That's why there's been this regular changeover of prime ministers, especially over the last 12 months or so. Emmanuel Macron looking for his third PM this year. We also understand that Emmanuel Macron will not be making a set-piece speech today. That's something that a lot of people have been calling for, a clarifying speech from the President. What are his intentions? What's his plan? At this stage, the Elysee Palace says no such speech is planned.
All right, Ross Cullen, it's good to see you. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you for talking to us today.